Okay, you can see this tree right here. And I'll tell you why I'm showing it to you in a second. Okay. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and make this statement really fast. Any organized stalking, gang stalking perpetrators that want to get online and post bullying and harassing comments towards me in order to try to make it appear that I'm crazy or schizophrenic or delusional. Right there. Anyways, alright, let me show you this video picture of my cell phone so you can see the date and time. As you can see by me showing you the cell phone, that is April 12th, 2014 at 10:20 a.m. I'm going to use the voice command feature to enable the phone to state the date electronically.
Say a command. April 12th, Saturday, 10:20 a.m.
Okay. Now, the reason why I showed you that tree is to prove to you that I am not nowhere at any place but this area. It's a landmark. Now, the subject matter of this particular video is to describe to you some of the things that organized stalking, gang stalking target individuals had to put up with as a result of being a gang stalking target. Let me put my hat on real fast. Now, this hat is not very flattering at all. Let me get to the subject matter pertaining to this video. This video applies for the next 90 days, no matter what hiking area I am at in reference to any events that transpire towards me physically, okay, by anybody that comes down and into my hiking areas. I don't care who they are, how old they are, why they say they're here, what witnesses are used. Organized stalking and gang stalking engage in what is known as street theaters. Street theaters are nothing but staged events, and these terms can be Googled and YouTubed. And when they stage events, they will also stage the witnesses, and they'll use anybody: landscape workers, construction workers, property owners, neighbors, kids, teenagers, adults, elderly people, veterans, homeless people. They'll use anybody and everybody they can use in order to use them for their desired result pertaining to why the staged event is happening to begin with. Now, let me just backtrack for a second. I'm showing you this video picture of this tent. Let me just show you this. I'm pulling the flap in front of it for a second because I want to show you. Let me zip it up really fast. Well, actually, first I'm going to show you the interior of it. You can see the back wall is fine. It's not slashed up. Okay, this is the opposite wall on the other side. I know the lighting's not too good right now. Okay, and that's the other opposite wall. Okay, there's the floor. Here's the ceiling. I'm aware the light is not that great, but you can see that it's not slashed up. Okay. And I'll tell you why I'm saying this in a second, because I'm going to literally prove to you they came down here. And let me zip it up really fast, because I'm preparing to leave for the day, so it's being zipped up. They came down here on February 27, 2014, and slashed it up right here. Now, if you can picture the letter T in your mind, that's how they slashed it up, in the formation of a letter T. And the lighting's not that great right now, okay? And I had to fix it with produce ties. I'm talking about the gang stalking expedition that is occurring towards me. This morning, well, let me just zip the bottom of this tent up so I can lock it up. Every morning when I leave this area, or afternoon or early evening, it depends on where I'm going for the day, like grocery shopping, library, whatever, I lock this tent up with a lock. So you can see I'm pulling the zippers down right now together, and then I gotta set the camera down in order to get the lock out and lock it. See, it is now locked up. Okay, and I'm showing you this tent in reference to the face of it, the front of it. Showed you that it's not slashed up or anything. I showed you the inside walls. Okay, and then this black tarp gets pulled in front of it. Now, I am preparing to move here. I spent the whole month of February and March moving my stuff and creating security measures at the areas I'm moving to, so I can have some sense of security in reference to my property that has been moved there. And you would not believe what I had to go through to move. You just would not believe it, because I had to move sections of my property bit by bit using my bike, and I can only carry so much on my bike. Now, this is how the tent looks at night and when I'm gone during the day. That's right. Now, this morning, as I was waking up, see, I'm clearing up a head cold and a chest cold. Now, they must have heard me coughing. And this is not the only morning this has happened either. Now, just listen. In organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions, one of the things that they do against the target individual is remind them through any way they can that they are a gang stalking target. That's right. By getting along the target's path and repeating certain words, phrases, color, harassment. Just Google everything I'm saying, you'll see I'm telling you the truth. Literally. And what they do against organized stalking, let this helicopter go by. Trying to get out my phone so I can play you a segment of an audio file eventually in this video file that will literally prove to you I'm a target of gang stalking. Now again, this video applies for the next 90 days. Now, part of the main methodologies of organized stalking and gang stalking is to make sure that you know that you're being gang stalked intentionally by the individuals who are managing this expedition, and to remind you about it in order to keep you mentally preoccupied concerning it, in order to cause you to have thought process, in order to incite you to have mental responses concerning it and emotional responses concerning it. And the whole goal for them is to keep you mentally preoccupied about it every single chance they get, using anybody. That's right, because they want you to be mentally aware as much and as often as possible that you are a victim of organized stalking and gang stalking. And gang stalking is not stalking by gangs. All you got to do is go to Google and YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids to see that gang stalking has been brought to the public attention. And that, look, this crime has been covered on national TV shows, national radio shows, and local news broadcasts. And so what I'm doing is basically right now I'm explaining to you just one type of harassment that I endure. Hold on. Again, I'm breaking up this head cold. Now, I've already mentioned about how they intentionally and deliberately, with complete malice of forethought and criminal intent, want to keep you thinking about what's happening to you as a result of them subjecting you to their techniques. Most of them are covert. I mean, a good portion of them are covert, and the other ones are overt, and then at times directly. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today, right now, about what they're doing towards me here at this hiking area, the 4th hiking area I've been gang stalked to. Now, when I was waking up this morning, I was already coughing before I was fully awake, when I was still lying down, so they must have heard it. Now, you can go to Google and YouTube and research how they will hack into your cell phone. In fact, you can just go to YouTube right now and type in cell phone hacking and stalking, and you'll literally see that just regular people who are engaged in stalking of a person will hack into that person's cell phone, and as a result, it can be used as a microphone, speaker you speak into. They can hack into the camera, and they can use this phone as a GPS tracker. So, plus it's all over the internet. It is all over the internet that these freaked out assholes, excuse my language, because I usually don't swear, these freaked out skanks will literally set up audio and video surveillance, okay, around the target individual's home, apartment, car, and if they're doing that concerning physical structures where a target individual is living, do you honestly think that they might not do it at a target's hiking area? Come on, okay? The point I'm trying to make is that they monitor you and surveil you in order to be able to place the crafted harassment around you for you to experience. That is intended for you to experience. So as I was waking up this morning, coughing as I was doing it, I believe what they did was because of the clarity and the loudness concerning how clearly and loud I heard it. I think what they did was they probably brought an individual to stand about right there at the entrance of this area, okay, from the road. Because I know the voice, you know how like when you got a cell phone, you turn the volume up or down? Now when somebody gets up on the sidewalk and they have them say, gang stalk, why don't you come and steal her stuff, or gang stalk, why don't you call the cops on her, I can tell that it's being said from the sidewalk because of the distance between the tent and the sidewalk when I'm in the tent. This morning as I was waking up, I clearly and loudly heard an individual say, why don't you come down here and clear this shit out of here? And then they called me a name. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now that was done in order to anchor fear in my mind that because they know that 95% of the time I only use this hiking area as a place to sleep and to sometimes on the weekend I might just stay here to do administrative work to prepare myself for the following week. So what they basically do is they don't want you to have, if you're a gang stalking target, they don't want you to have any mental peace at all. They not only go after every aspect of your life, but they also obviously go after the quality of your life by harassing you about anything and everything and anchoring fear that something's going to happen to you and or your property. Now this technique is called dark neural linguistic programming, brought about through the direct conversation method. Dark neural linguistic programming means that what they're saying for you to hear, okay, in order to program and anchor a neural response based on the theme of what they say, which is dark in nature, like a threat. In other words, dark neurolinguistic programming, the dark neurolinguistic programming is negative stuff that they say. Okay, as a result of you hearing what they say, like, why don't you come and steal her stuff? Why don't you clear her stuff out of here? The target individual has a mental response because of it. And so what they're doing is programming the target's thinking patterns pertaining to the theme of the threat. Okay? Just like any person, if like say if a guy comes home and he's putting a security code in for his garage door or his house, and a known neighborhood criminal is walking by with his friends as he's putting this code in, he's going to stop putting the code in until the guys walk by. Same concept, because that guy wants to be able to have some measure of peace of mind pertaining to his property. Well, it's the same concept. These people use what is known as psychological mind games. Now, I have read so many targeted individuals' blogs that are titled Gang Stalking Psychological Operations. Just Google it. Because the whole goal for them is to get you to think about what they're doing based on what they're doing. Okay? So their whole goal is to harass you through these clever means, through the surveillance of you. So if they hear me coughing, they know I'm waking up. They want to be able to steer my thinking for the entire day right away, even as I'm waking up. So the first thing I'll think about is my mental, so the first thing that I'll be thinking about is the threat that they made sure I heard, and they wanted me to hear it as I was waking up. So as soon as I woke up from unconscious to conscious, I would automatically be thinking about them. And they knew I was waking up because I was coughing. That's right. Now, in order for you to be able to see that I'm telling you the literal truth, I mean the literal truth, is go to Google and YouTube and type in how they will engage in cell phone hacking. Use the target individual's own cell phone, like the speaker. When you talk in your phone, anytime you talk into your phone, okay, you are using the speaker to talk. They can hack into the phone and use it as a microphone even when the phone is off and even when the battery's out. That's right. So if they hear me coughing, they know I'm waking up. That's when they then put the dupe idiot or the syndicate member to come down up in here and then state the threat. So as soon as I wake up from unconscious to conscious, I will hear the threat because I'm waking up. They hear I'm waking up because I'm coughing, and then they anchor the threat. So as soon as I come into consciousness from waking up, I will automatically think about what I just heard, because they want to steer your thinking. It's actually called also psychic driving, where they're literally driving your thinking based on what you hear them saying. That's right, in order to create neural responses, to keep you mentally preoccupied about it, to cause extreme mental duress and stress. Because one of the main methodologies of gang stalking is to cause a mental collapse by subjecting you to non-stop harassment along all your routes. Now I'm getting ready to literally play to you right now to prove to you that I'm a victim of gang stalking, and then I got to end this video file. Let me just make a point to you. Every morning throughout the entire year of 2013, I was making 2 videos at this hiking area. One video was a video that did not show the tent or the fact that I was hiking. It was just a video prediction for the day in reference to what might happen around me, concerning me, about me, towards me, against me, along my routes for the day. Hang on. The second video was a video picture of my tent, so I could prove that it was here. And then after I showed the video picture of my tent and talked about the fact that I got some property hidden close by out of sight, I would then discuss some of the things that were happening to me at this hiking area, including me talking about the freaked out bums that they had set up 100 feet away, who yelled gang stalk every day and night, non-stop, along with some other vile crap. And then I would take the video camera and then position it up towards the sidewalk and discuss how they were placing people up on the sidewalk to ride their bikes by, jog by, or walk by and say, gang stalk, why don't you come and steal her stuff? And then at different times they would say, gang stalk, why don't you call the cops on her? Now let's take a, and then I also mentioned on some of the videos about how they they were doing the same thing at UCSD, which is a university campus, concerning how two separate students on two separate dates walked by me inside the Price Center and said, gang stalk, why don't you go and steal her stuff? Now you might think to yourself, how would these students at UCSD know to say the same exact identical thing, just changing one word? Because they were using people here to say gang stalk as they went by, why don't you come and steal her stuff? At UCSD they say gang stalk, why don't you go and steal her stuff? And I'm going to tell you how, and I'm going to prove it to you how. Understand this and be clear. Now, I have right now in my possession over 800 audio files of the same exact, identical to a T, verbal harassment being stated around me everywhere I go, every single day. That verbal harassment being, but not limited to, gang stalk, crazy, gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalker, gang stalk, crazy, gang stalk, weird, gang stalk, oh my god, in that way. Now the only way that I could experience that everywhere I go, every single day, non-stop, including by library staff, university employees, students, and then public library staff and patrons and employees, businesses, employees, and management and patrons. The only way that I could experience the same exact identical verbal harassment that was identical to a T everywhere I went is that the individual or individuals who are managing this expedition are telling these people to say the same thing. In other words, it's one mindset steering the whole campaign, because the harassment is identical and same everywhere I go. Now, I just mentioned to you how I made two videos and explained what each of those two videos were about, okay? Each day throughout the entire year of 2013. I also made them at my last hiking area as well, okay? Stating about how they were putting people on the sidewalk to say gang stalk and a bunch of other crazy nonsensical bullshit. Now, on November 28th, 2013, I was on a sidewalk, riding my bike back from La Jolla Village Square, where gang stalk was caught repetitively on a digital tape recorder that was recording, because I wear one that's recording at all times. It's recording my statements right now. So think about this. I leave La Jolla Village Square from seeing a movie. I unlocked my bike. Well, first I smoked a cigarette after I came out of the movies. I stood at my bike rack, where the bike rack was, where my bike was locked up at. I lit up a cigarette, got done smoking it, unlocked the bike, got on the bike, and rode the bike to a certain sidewalk off of a road. Two individuals appeared along my out of a parking lot of an apartment complex and got on the sidewalk that I was riding on, them coming in towards my direction that I was going into. They blocked my ability intentionally to continue to ride my bike, and so I had to get off of it. Then they started harassing me and threatening me. And listen to what they say as they're threatening me. They're literally saying gang stalk together, then one says gang stalking, and then that same one says gang of stalking, I'm gonna F you up. A threat. Okay, and this is a segment of that audio file, and you're going to hear it right now.
Right here.
Now, think about this. That is on a sidewalk. Now, understand, this is the reason why I brought up about how I was making two videos here every day throughout the entire year of 2013. How they were putting people up on this sidewalk to say gang stalk, why don't you come and steal her stuff, a threat, and gang stalk, why don't you call the cops on her, a threat. And then this occurred on a sidewalk, and the guy is saying, gang of stalking, I'm going to F you up, a threat. It proves I was telling the true throughout the entire year of 2013 when I was making 2 videos here every day, one of them talking about it every day. That's right, because Thanksgiving